This is a story about five great friends who embarked on an epic sailing adventure, the 2025 Phoenix edition of the VanIsle360, aboard the Beneteau 36.7 sailboat named Heron. Our heroes from left to right are Skipper Jim, his daughter Riley, his wife Stacy, foredeck man Chris, and yours truly Dave. The 2-week adventure begins at Heron's home port of Anacortes, Washington, a small town very near the famous San Juan archipelago. Stacy and Riley followed the sailors in their truck, putting on some 1,300 miles as they weave their way around logging roads, logging trucks, and fish camps to keep the boys supplied with food and beverage. I hope you enjoy the ride, and thanks for watching. All right. Say good morning, Jimmy.
Hey.
Okay, so this is Chris, Shona, Dan over there. This is the
send-off crew.
Dave, the send-off crew, and it is what time is it? 7 o'clock.
7:06.
7:06 in the morning. Jimmy, what do you got to say about your trip? You all prepared?
I'm prepared.
You got it all ready?
All ready.
You got it checked and double checked?
All the boxes are checked.
Triple checked.
Reflective tape.
Reflective tape. We got to have safety. It's all about safety.
Safety.
Okay. Safety. All right, signing out for now. We're gonna try and do a little bit of this all the time and see if we can't send it to our friends. So the first part of our journey, we had to clear customs. We had a 65-kilometer journey to Bedwell Harbor on Pender Island. And if for those of you who don't know, going into Canada is pretty easy, but you got to hit the customs dock. There's a couple places. There's one in Sydney and whatever. But anyway, Bedwell Harbor was on our way. And so 65 kilometers, we had a great little delivery trip over there. We saw dolphins and all kinds of wildlife, and maybe had a few rums along the way. We have 2 days to get up to Nanaimo for the safety inspection, and so we were going to stay overnight in Montague Harbor, which we have some video of that as well. All right, we're underway. We're on film here. Jim, what are your thoughts as we leave the harbor?
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, what is this, Cap Sandy Head in the background?
Yeah.
We're going to head down Guaymas Channel. And,
We're going to steer clear of all tankers, give them their full 1,000-yard berth.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. It's going to probably be 75 degrees today.
Hey!
Okay, so we're doing the delivery here, and this is Point Lawrence, and Chris is at the helm. He's got the thumbs up. It's a beautiful day. We are, for those of you in Florida who think that there's a lot of current at Biscayne Bay, currently we're experiencing over 3 knots of current on the nose because we didn't time our delivery quite right, but so we're bucking right into the current, but it's super beautiful out. Nice day for a delivery. Dave Martin here, coming to you live from Harrow Strait. There's Jimmy at the helm. Say hey, Jim.
Hey.
So we're ripping along at almost 9 knots over the bottom, and the reason the camera came on, you can see the tide rips in front of us.
Right here, right?
Let me see over here. Well, we have some porpoise. I think these are Dahl's porpoises.
Yes. Coming right at us.
Coming right at us here. Let's see if we can get a little video of them. You can see the wall there, yeah. Okay, we're coming into, what is this place, Jim?
Bedwell. This is
Bedwell Harbor.
Boats Cove Resort.
Yeah, so we're gonna clear customs. Beautiful little cove here.
Bring your wallet.
Jim is eating the forgotten fruit. We
$200 apple.
yeah, we went through customs. Here, I'm gonna go this way so you can see all of us. We went through customs with the apple.
Make sure we didn't have anything else.
Yeah, make sure you don't have any fruit. And we're like, no, we don't have any fruit. And then sitting on the counter actually was this apple. So we were documenting the fact that we were smuggling fruit into Canada.
Don't say we.
Well, Jim.
Yeah. Don't incriminate yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Jim was smuggling. It's his boat. He was smuggling fruit in.
We're off with the warning, but we have to take the core, put it in a bag and freeze it and take it
bring
home.
it back to America.
So Jim is going to do that.
No, Jim is going to consume the entire apple.
Oh.
Put my shit in the bag, freeze it, and then send it to him.
Yeah, he's gonna freeze it as long as it doesn't end up in Chris's bunk. So, all right. Okay, so we've only had 2 beers so far, but we're having fun.
Okay, so we are coming into Montague Harbor, which is where we're gonna spend the night here tonight on our delivery trip.
We left Montague.
Yeah, we left Montague Harbor, which was back there, and it's the rain came in.
Not Montego.
Not Montego. We have a 26-ish mile delivery to Nanaimo. The rain has started, and anyway, so we got that going for us, which is nice.
No big day job.
Yeah, I'm not a TV guy. So we had, what did we have for breakfast? We had granola and yogurt, and we're all gonna try and hit Nanaimo before we have to go to the bathroom. That's our plan. I want to make sure I get that in there. The green route that you're looking at is where we left Montague Harbor. We got a 46-kilometer journey from Montague Harbor, and our track takes us through Dodd Narrows. Dodd Narrows is a pretty crazy, interesting body of water. We have some really cool videos going through that passage.
Okay, Florida friends, I just wanted you to see the chart plotter. This little symbol right here says 5-6. We're going to go through this tiny little hole right here, and that's called Dodd Narrows. You can see my little chart here isn't very accurate, but there's 5.6 knots of current going against us right now as we approach this. We are down here a ways, somewhere on this chart. That's our little line right there. That's where we're heading. So there's our boat, and we're heading up toward this point here. The reason we're off course is because we're basically an hour early, and we're gonna have to roam around in this area here and wait for this tide. But when it changes here, it's gonna change within like 30 minutes. It just all of a sudden switches. And then, so I just kind of thought that might be interesting for you guys to see.
Probably doesn't look that violent on the camera. It never does. But there's a lot of water just roiling and boiling here. All right, we're rolling into Nanaimo. This is the city of the first start. There's a harbor air. Okay, the Heron has successfully landed here in Nanaimo, and the wind picked up, of course. It always picks up right when you're trying to dock. So we had to back down this narrow little channel here, and next to this boat Reverie here, beautiful little boat, nice people. All these boats with all the flags are going to be starting the race. So anyway, pretty cool. Beautiful weather right downtown, as you can see. It is day one of racing from Nanaimo to Comox. We got a 69 roughly kilometer journey, and let's see what our racers are up to. Morning everyone, this is Dave and Jim and Chris coming to you live from the morning of the race.
Nanaimo.
The Nanaimo leg one, and it's kind of overcast, little, not really too blustery, but we're thinking the number 3 today. We're kind of light. We only got 3 guys, so we're gonna go with the 3. Chris, what's your prognosis, doctor?
A fine day, no rain, good wind, and reachy.
Reachy, maybe. Reachy would be good.
Yeah, I think close reaching.
Close reaching?
Yeah.
A little beating to begin, and
Yeah, maybe. The wind might turn on us, and we'll see. But anyway, that's it. Okay, well, wish us luck.
Peace out.
Here's a picture of Jim receiving his first place trophy for leg 1 at the barbecue that was at Winter Harbor. Pretty exciting. Now we're on to leg 2, a 54-kilometer journey from Comox to Campbell River. As you can see, it's a pretty straight shot. We have to go through the Straits of Georgia. It's a pretty big, wide body of water and can be nasty, but it was a good trip. I'm going to get the outhaul on nice and tight today. There we go. Yep.
Okay, somebody want to take the wheel? I'll go take care of the batteries.
Shadow 2, Shadow 2. Shadow 2 is detailed. We're just going to be adjusting you. Roger that. Thank you very much.
So Battery Management Wizard didn't get any more footage on leg 2, so we're off to leg 3, which is Deepwater Bay to Kelsey Bay. And in order to get from Campbell River to Deepwater Bay, we had to do a delivery through the Seymour Narrows. Now, the Seymour Narrows is a notoriously nasty stretch of water where a huge amount of water has to pass through a very narrow channel, and there's no way to tack up through that, as the water can go 12, 13 knots through there on a big tide. There's also a historic landmark there called Ripple Rock, and I'll zoom up in there and show a couple of pictures of that, but it was a dangerous underwater mountain that was removed by the Canadians in 1958 through a huge explosion because it was just such a hazard to navigation. Here's a picture of Ripple Rock before they removed it with a huge tide going on. It was only like 6 feet below the water line. And then this next picture is right before the detonation and then after they blew the thing to smithereens. Jimmy?
That's off to the chef.
No, you always want the fat guy cooking. That's So just for our friends out here, we are motoring to the start. We got up at, what time did we get up?
4 o'clock. 4 a.m.
4 a.m. and we're off the dock in Campbell River heading, and the reason is because we're going through the Seymour Narrows. But the current rips through there at, I don't know how fast it's 13, 14 knots. So we got to get it through there before the tide changes. And right now, if you look at our instruments, you probably can't see, but we're going 6 at boat speed, but we are 8 knots. So we're still in the ebb, but the flood will happen at what time? 5:30, and it's 5 o'clock right now. This is the start of leg 3 from Deepwater Bay to Kelsey Bay. It was very windy. We saw 35 knots, double reef main with the number 4 for most of the leg. You're going to watch a little chaos at the start, but we got it under control and had a pretty good race. Okay, that's good. Putting the reef back on. Oh, fuck. Reef tight, Jim?
I can't tell. I'm fucking here.
Okay. All right. I think we should tack Jim and put the jib up.
I would love to tack. I have no way.
Yeah, 1 minute. Ready when you are, Chris.
You got my main sheet or not?
Yeah, we're okay.
Take a look at it, Chris. Something over the top of the sheet. Chris is wrapped up in the sheet. There's a beach line up at the mast on the main. Yes. Okay.
I gotta get up there. Chris, I gotta get up there.
Climb up on the high side, Chris.
Yeah.
So on the opposite side of that handle at the base of the main, that is where the beach line is. You can pull that down some.
Bar. Hey. We had a better start than some. That's good, Chris.
So leg 3 was long and brutal, but we ended up having a 9-mile delivery to Port Neville where we anchored for the night, and it was just a stunning, beautiful place.
And Jimmy's on the phone with Stacy.
A bar.
We anchor here tonight, and then
So that was 8 feet under our heel, Chris.
we're gonna go around the corner here and then anchor.
Wait, check it again.
On the Heron, which started out Celebration.
With the Easy Cheese.
Okay, tell me the story.
And you must stock up on Easy Cheese because it's not available in Canada.
Oh, it's not. You can't get Easy
Probably
Cheese.
because they have socialized healthcare, which means that
Oh, that's
they
true.
won't sell you stuff that's bad for you.
Leg 4 from Port Neville to Telegraph Cove was epic. We had just a great sail, and this is a pretty long leg in Johnstone Strait where usually you see orca and things like that. We didn't see any wildlife on this thing, but it was just a real nice sail all the way up to Telegraph Cove. And then we had a fantastic dinner, big salmon barbecue and everything in Telegraph Cove. It was a great place.
Looking on the lifeline.
What's that? Oh, on the hoist?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to like find the batten and throw it over the lifeline.
I had it over and then it dropped down.
It's hard. I mean, they're
Yeah,
just crazy.
I did that. I had the first batten up.
You just sneak in the reef. Look at one on the header.
Yep.
We already have everything. Light it up, so.
That's right. Happy. It's all that protein last night. Come on now. It's like trip on that line. Order to come out. Get cheap. Not kick it out. I'll keep it. Just like. The wind comes up a little bit more. We're 16 knots now. We don't want to go more high. He's on it, Jim. Yeah. Every time. How did they turn out? Those guys. So did you read the note that they were going to bring Gosling's rum to the boats? Yesterday? All right, well, you need to go. Yep, I'm ready. Ready? Ready? Happy.
Nice bait.
We do. Nice one, boys.
Got a lot.
Here's a quick pic of us all nestled in Telegraph Cove. You can see how packed we are. They did a great job of fitting all the boats in there. Leg 5 from Telegraph Cove to Port Hardy. Our heroes have full bellies from the salmon dinner the night before, and they're ready to rock and roll.
All right, Chris, what's your prediction for today?
Wonderful day, flat sailing, beautiful views.
Yeah.
Another win.
Another win. So we're about a half hour before the start, and just milling around. You can see how really beautiful it is here, even if when it's misty and foggy. Telegraph Cove is right behind the Rogue boat there. You can kind of see a crane. That's where we anchored for the night, inside that little cove. And the race is going to be going out
that way between those two islands. It's a 30-mile leg today, roughly. We're going to end up in Port Hardy. So we'll hopefully have fun action today, and we'll be back later. Obviously this clip is sped up, but the reason I included it is because this was the entrance to the bay at Port Hardy after a very long day's sail, and obviously the wind picked up compared to the start where it was super light. We had to make kind of a crash tack here because we couldn't hold the lane that we wanted to hold. There was some rocks on the bottom, and we made a quick couple of tacks here as we entered the bay. Okay, here we're rounding the corner and heading into Nia Bay. We're on a reach. There was some question about where the finish line was, so Jim was concerned, and he's like, I'm going to go below and check out the course, and so he let me drive for a little bit. Some of the boats put up their spinnakers at this point. We were kind of wiped out and didn't do it, and it didn't really affect our finish. Okay, we have new crew members to introduce that have not been on video yet. We have Miss Riley Bottles, who is on the road crew, and we have her mom, Stacy. And I don't know who that guy is over there, but he's been problem all day. But anyway, Stacy and Riley have been the best road crew ever and been bringing us sandwiches and alcoholic beverages. And so here we are in Port Hardy. You can see it's a thriving metropolis. We are on the T-dock. We're rafted up to Kodiak Express, who had a very good day today. And that's like all I really can tell you. Everybody's kind of rafted up. We have a lay day tomorrow, and we're just going to be here for, how long are we going to be here for? For like 2 days. All right. Leg 6 is a longer leg. That we're starting the longer legs getting out into the Pacific. We start from Port Hardy to Winter Harbor, and we wade through some pretty light air, but then we get around the corner and go by Cape Scott. We also pass the Nawidi Bar, which is a crazy geographic feature where you have these Pacific rollers that come in and they hit 20 or 30 feet of depth, and it can be a lot of tide there and can be a very interesting, crazy place to sail. We start in Port Hardy. You're going to see the start of that race where it's really super light because we're deep in the bay, and then as we get out, it gets kind of foggy. And anyway, it was a beautiful sail.
We're tacking.
Freya, you're over. Freya, you're over.
What's not readily apparent in this video is that we were way on the right side of the course, like right up against the shore in like 0 feet of water. Jim was super patient with me. I'm like, keep going, keep going. He's like, you're not looking at the depth meter. I'm like, okay, I get it. But anyway, we had this epic start on this race. It's why it's included in the video. You can kind of see in the lower left over there, all the boats, the whole fleet is on our port side. And it just was a really great start. There was hardly any wind.
and we were quite a ways ahead of all the boats for quite a while into this race. It was kind of one of our cooler moments. Yeah, we were feeling pretty good about ourselves. You can see the dark sail coming across on starboard there. That was the Kodiak Express. Either that or Spy Hop. I can't quite tell from the video, but both of those boats should have been ahead of us, and we were pretty excited at this point in the race to be crossing so close to them. This next scene was a disappointment to all of us. We were on the shore trying to stay out of the current. There was a little bit of current, and we were right with Kodiak Express, our competitor. And then I was driving, and then Jim goes, "Hey, look, there's a sea otter." And we're like, "Oh, that's so cute." Well, where do sea otters live? They live in the bloody kelp. And so then I'm like tacking, and I did this emergency tack because it was kelp. And then, of course, we got caught on the kelp, and this is Jim trying to get rid of the kelp. It was like a nightmare. It took us forever, and it was the world's strongest kelp. It was attached to a rock. I actually thought it was like a cable or a fishnet line, like a crab trap or something, but anyway, it was brutal. All right, we did get the kelp off, but it was a nightmare. Jimmy and Chris had to work really hard to pull that thing up. There was a rock attached to the bottom. We were kind of in the shallows trying to stay out of current, but the kelp was just like crazy. Anyway, we lost quite a bit of time getting that kelp off, and then we ended up landing in Winter Harbor, which is a beautiful place. Hopefully I have some other pictures of Winter Harbor. Now we're starting the longest leg of the trip to Ucluelet, 139 miles. It was really windy. There were two boats that didn't even attempt the leg. They just stayed in the harbor. You'll see the starting video here, but it was mellow at the start, 15, but then it built to 20, and then it built to 25. And once it got to 25, Jim called to get the spinnaker down, and we finished the rest of the leg pretty much in 30 knots of breeze. All right, race fans, we are at the beginning of the race of the Winter Harbor to Ucluelet. I'm your host, Dave Martin, coming to you from the cockpit where I've got Chris and Jimmy. Say hello, boys.
Hey. Yo, yo, yo.
This is, I'm going to give you a panoramic of Winter Harbor. It's just an unbelievably beautiful place. Sun's out this morning. It's 8 o'clock. Sorry about the sun. Boats are coming out. The start line is right there on that island by that lighthouse. There's a lighthouse back there. And we're about 6/10 of a mile from the start. And then we have a 139-mile journey today to Ucluelet. Okay, so that's it, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, we can go, Chris. Let's go. Boys. Hey, come back.
I don't think our shirt is clean.
Not unfurled yet.
I think if you pull down on the downhaul or the back line, you get... I'm pulling on this sheet. All right, race fans, it's just after the start, and I'm going back this way to show you how many beautiful spinnakers are behind us. So we had a good start. We started at the favorite end of the line. It's blowing 14 or so knots, and that's the fleet. And pretty excited. Okay, the red kite right here is Spy Hop. They've been winning all the races, so we're ahead of them. And
We had wrapped the spinnaker on the first day.
trying to look at who else we got here. Can't really tell, but we're in a good spot here. Oh no, huge broach. Maybe we got it. Oh yeah. Ooh, who is that, Jimmy?
That's Blue Jay.
That's Blue
One
Jay.
that didn't have their.
Yeah, they just put their kite up. We were watching them. We took our kite down. You can see we're on the number 3 right now, and we watched them put their kite up. It's blowing 25. Yeah, they're. Oh, it's gonna be ugly. You can see it through the Dodger. Did the kite break?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit of carnage.
There's the halyard.
Yeah, the
Now it's
halyard.
gonna go into water. That's why they have to make it through.
So Jimmy called for the number 3 to be down. I mean, number 3 to go up, and it was the total right call. I was pushing him a little bit, but he's right. He's smart, and it's his boat. So we put the 3 up. You can see the beautiful coast. Very rugged. We're right by the Brooks Peninsula, 10 miles from it. You can see it's pretty wavy. This boat off our starboard here is, oh baby,
That was a big one.
big wave. Yeah, you can see if we had had the kite up right there, it would have been pretty gnarly. Good job, Jimmy. Get some
submarine.
Should get some Jimmy Helm time there. I guess the carnage is still going on over at Blue Jay. Now they're trying to get the kite in. Send them some video. Sure they'll appreciate it.
News
Yeah.
at 11.
News at 11.
Not so fast now, is it?
No, not that.
Stick your head in.
So Chris is listening to the radio right now. They're doing an all stations bulletin on channel 16.
Somebody wants to know.
Oh, okay. Commercial stuff.
Towing the souk.
Oh, the soup.
Everybody's coming out here to get the job.
All right, we're here at the Brooks Peninsula, and we're ripping along. That's Spy Hop right behind Jim. You can see the waves have gotten pretty big, although they probably don't look big on camera, but they're pretty big. So that's
12-8.
12-8. Jimmy's ripping along. Do kind of quick spin here. Thumbs up from the boys. All right, we're rounding Brooks Peninsula. Look at that, it's a pretty rugged, rocky beast. And then we got Jimmy, the machine. La Machine. 11 life. We're going 8-9 knots over the bottom. Getting 30 knots of breeze. This boat right here is Spy Hop, who's winning right now. So they should be way in front of us, but guess what? They're not. So we were in good spirits. It's getting a little cool out.
Wow.
What do you say there, Chris?
It's great. Love
Great.
it.
All right.
No bow work.
Yeah, no bow work. Big waves. But the peninsula with that light is super cool looking. Ooh, baby, we just had a couple of big waves kind of roll. One broke over the back of us here.
Got anything go down below, Chris?
No. I blocked it.
All right. Some of these waves are pretty big.
Put a dip board in if you want.
Might not be a bad idea to put one of the boards in.
Let's do it if we're not going up and down.
What's that?
I said you fell and I went back
Alright. No, it goes up.
It's quite a sea state here. I'm just trying to capture it. Okay, big one coming here, Jim. Try and square it down. There you go. Another big one behind it. Gonna have to square down. Yep, good, good. Hang off! Okay, that's enough of that. All right.
In second place,
Heron.
I'm gonna make a bird sound. Heron.
Okay, in the home stretch, starting leg 8 from Ucluelet to Victoria. This is the second longest leg, 100 miles, and still out in the ocean, but then we enter the Strait of Juan de Fuca. It proved to be a little bit light, and then at the very end of the race, it was gnarly, windy, and super dark.
Okay, leaving Ucluelet. This is the little anchorage. There's Bi-hop. Yeah, maybe. Boats are piling out of the marina. Obviously, fishing village. All right, Captain Ron. How was the sleep last night?
It was awesome.
Awesome. And the shower? How many showers did you take yesterday?
Showers yesterday. I am clean as I get.
Yeah, as you get, as a man gets.
As a man. Right. Still stink like a man, but
Right.
got a couple layers off.
Right. Got something swimming in the water right there. Some wildlife. What's that? Little deer. Where's the deer crossing?
Deer crossing! Deer in water!
Oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah, you don't see that every day. Turn away, run away. Pretty fast swimmers. They're training for the Molokai Channel swim.
Both young bucks.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, two young bucks. I don't see them out in the islands, though. They used to go island to island quite a bit. I haven't seen them.
I'm gonna send this to my swimmer friends. Okay, Jimmy, give us a rundown. What's going on? Where are we?
Where are we? I have no idea. We're off the coast before we get to Sheringham, right?
Yeah. So.
Middle of Strait, Juan de Fuca, Canadian side.
Yep. Wind speed 12 knots. Very foggy.
Competition in sight.
Competition in sight. So this boat right up here, just off Chris's brow, his protruding Cro-Magnon brow, is Kodiak Express. Kodiak Express is winning the regatta so far by a pretty good amount. However, we're kind of like right here. We're kind of the ankle biters that cause them grief. Now, you're not going to be able to see it in the video, but straight ahead, right off our bow, is Bi-hop, who's in second place. We are only 3 minutes behind her, third. So we're hoping that we can correct out over Bi-hop and also Kodiak, but it's going to be close. It's video time, ladies and gentlemen. We are
Somewhere.
we're 16 miles from Sheringham Point.
That tells everybody.
Wrong.
Straight of Wandafuka, that would have been the safe.
Yeah, we're in the Strait of Wandafuka, and it's getting to be on sunset. It's 9 o'clock. Very light out here. Jim's been driving like a madman. You can't see, but over here is the Washington coast, and we have actually entered the Strait of Wandafuka. On this, you can see Vancouver Island over here, and we're a couple miles offshore, and we're heading to Sheringham Point, which is the skunk line, which I can't remember what that acronym, shortest known something. It's something with scoring. It's kind of like a shortened course, but it's not really the same thing. And then our competition, if you look out here, you can see these little teeny tiny boats. So over here in this neighborhood is Kodiak, the Kodiak Express, and One Life. And then if you go just one over there, there's a red chute, and that is Spy Hawk. We are reeling them in, or at least that's our hope and our plan. One nice thing about Jim's boat is that it has a spinnaker pole, as you can see, so we can square that pole back and go very deep downwind. Those boats that are out there, they have sprits on them, and so they can't go as deep as we can. We are just rum lining. If you look at the instruments, you can see I can explain all those instruments. We're going 7.2 of boat speed, that's the upper left. Underneath it is our speed over ground, 7.5, 7.6. It's very helpful for current. In the upper right, 14.3, that's the true wind speed, and 142 is the apparent wind angle. And then on the right instrument, it's 342 feet deep right here. We are 16.3 miles, nautical miles away from our waypoint, and our waypoint is at course 97 magnetic, and we are traveling right now at 104, 105. That's our heading. It's kind of how we navigate. So before we start the race, we actually put a route into the GPS, and then we can follow it, because we're only 3 guys and we're busy up here on deck and we don't have a lot of time for navigation. Okay, I have no idea if this is going to record. I think it's probably just going to be black. But this is Race Rocks. Jim is driving. Chris is doing some macrame. We are going, you might be able to see those instruments, 9.5 knots over the bottom, very deep at 179 apparent wind angle, and we are 2.5 miles away from Race Rocks. Race Rocks are these rocks out here. There's some blinking lights that you might be able to see. You're probably not going to be able to see anything, but it's a big rock, and it's at the very south tip of Vancouver Island, and then we're going to make a big left-hand turn and go into Victoria. We have a full moon out, what'd you call it? Some kind of moon?
Strawberry moon.
Strawberry moon to drive by, and we have jib on a stick. Probably can't see that, but it's blowing 22, it was blowing 27 earlier, and I'm sure you can't see any of it.
Here we go. Ready? So the only way this trip could have been better is if Tom Dixon was here. Here's
to Tom.
Hey, Tommy! Cheers!
We miss you, Tommy. My apologies to Tom. It almost kind of sounded like Tom had passed away, but he actually just had a hip surgery and he couldn't make the trip with us. So anyway, we really missed having Tom on board. It would have been really a fun trip. But now we're on leg 9, the very end, the last leg from Victoria back to Nanaimo. This is one of the trickier legs because you have a real bunch of options and choices of islands that you have to go around and current to navigate. It started out really light. It was a pretty light air day all day. But you can see our track on this map. There were different options, but we took the track that is outlined on the slide that you see right now.
Okay, we're leaving Victoria, the harbor. You can see the Empress Hotel right there, and the Parliament building, and the museum, and the boats are starting to head off to the start. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning.
What kind of weather are we expecting today?
Oh, light, variable.
Desperate. Light and variable.
Desperate times to
Current push to hopefully get us around the corner and out of sight of Victoria so people can see us floating around.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of current up here in these parts, and so they have delayed the start of the race until 11 a.m. You can see this is a very busy, I'm changing subject here, a very busy harbor. Airplanes everywhere. So they have a scheme where they keep everybody apart. So Chris, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Dave, I had a breakfast sandwich. What did you have?
I had a breakfast sandwich myself and some coffee.
Yeah, did you have 2 breakfast sandwiches?
Well, no, I only had one.
Well, you had 2.
See, the thing is that Chris was being a gentleman this morning, and he texted me, Dave, I went and got coffee and I bought some breakfast sandwiches, except that I had already done the same. So we had lots of breakfast sandwiches.
Good sign. We're on the same page.
Ironically, it was the same sandwiches.
They were the same sandwiches. Although Chris outdid me because he bought a latte and I bought black coffee. So
I go above and beyond.
Chris is a man who goes above and beyond. Let's just say that.
Now we should put the kite up. I think we got to put the kite up.
All right, we're gonna put it up. You're standing on it, Chris.
Seat flags removed and launch found in.
Hey,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Chris, you gotta come back.
Gotta get moving. Can we get some bang on? You're a good place for freeze. Dave, I still don't think so. I'm watching the committee boat and I'm watching the ring.
I can see the roof. I can see the shore.
Cannon 0 removed and found in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All clear, all clear.
It's going to be a whole clusterfuck boat on top of that. And they're going to hit the committee boat. They're going to hit the committee boat, Dave.
Yeah, you guys are gonna drive us into the committee boat. We're already overlapped, right? So you can't drive us in. We have boats to weather of us.
Now we're making time. Now we're making way. Yep.
Okay, well, it's early in the race, everyone, but it's always nice to be ahead of the TP52s an hour into the race. And if you look at the boats behind us, way back there, Spy Hop, our competition. Sorry, I'm going so slow. It's very light. Do we know the name of this point?
Pucker Point.
Pucker Point. No, it's not, but
I do know.
anyway, it's a beautiful day, but very light winds, and we're dealing with some current, but not a huge amount right now. But just wanted to point out to my friend Hunter and Joel, and I'm going to send this video to Al, that you know, we're doing okay. All right, boys and girls, this is the Kodiak Express here. We are crossing in front of the drummers. We're waving at them. They're waving. And I think this is Spy Hop behind us in the blue hull with the white chute. And a beautiful day. Wind is 10 knots. Gorgeous. A little cloudy, but kind of a separation of schemes here. It looks like the boats that are over on the right behind Kodiak are going to go out and around these islands, and it looks like our competition is going to go through the islands. We got some big boats over here on the beach. A little bit of negative current, but not too much. The flood is supposed to start in a bit. Jimmy, how you feeling?
Great.
Good.
Beautiful day so far. Better than expected off the start. So
Yeah, we had a little stress at the start, which
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see. You'll see there's kind of a pile
not
up.
as much as some.
Yeah, that's true. Looks like I'm kind of commentating as I do my tactical job here. We went through a tide line, and it looks like breeze is filling from the southeast. So
Coming right just a bit.
this is going to be an interesting tactical dilemma to find out where it is we should go.
A little bit.
I think there's a little bait ball here where all these seagulls are having breakfast.
Excuse us. So sorry.
Okay, so this is the first big tactical decision that we've had to make. I want to pan back here. We have the spinnaker up. Right in front of us is the red kite. That's Kodiak Express. They're winning the regatta so far. And this island to our right, we are deciding to take this island to starboard. There are boats that went on the other side of the island, and you can see them over there, and that's Spy Hop. And we think there's a blue kite over here, but you're not gonna be able to see them in the video, but that's one life. This is just a beautiful shot as we roll into Nanaimo. We did finish in the dark, but before it finished, we just had this really peaceful setting. And then here is the end. The Tres Hombres got third in our class, and we're pretty proud of ourselves.